DJI FLIP, finally here. Let's take a look at it. All right, now that you guys seen what's actually within the fly mode combo of this package, I get to set it up the first time, and then let's use them, right? By the way, this video is sponsored by Skyread because they send a carrying case for this drone. Even though the fly mode combo does come with the bag, this carrying case is a whole lot better than the bag. I get into details about that later. This review consists of multiple points with a possibility of 35 points, including design, modes, usage, accessories, and overall rating. Bear with me and let's go through the chapters. If you guys haven't done so already, please don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the bell if you guys want to be notified about future projects of mine. Let's dive in. The design of the DJI FLIP in itself, why it's called the Flip, is pretty much because you can flip it up and you can put it together just like this to create this sort of kind of portable profile. What makes this drone stand out from other drones in its category is not only that it's below 250 grams, which does not require any type of registration for hobbyists. Part 107, guys, you guys still have to register this bad boy. But what makes it stand out on this part is that it has ducts around its propellers, and it's actually very small propellers that are very quiet in comparison to other drones like the DJI Air 3 or the Air 3S, even the Mavic 3 Pro, or even the Mini 4 or the Mini 3. So this drone is substantially quieter than that, which is actually pretty good. But besides that, the design in itself has it that it has ducts and it has these propellers guarded in with these bars right here, which makes it super easy to handle. The design in itself also sports batteries that sport up to a 3110 milliamp battery. Flight time on that is advertised as 31 minutes, but if you leave 10% afterwards with the battery, the max flight time you can get out of this is about 22 to 24 minutes based on weather conditions, if it's super windy or not. This drone is very sensitive to weather, but design-wise, I think they did a pretty good damn deal with it because it's very wind-resistant gimbal-wise. It does a very good job, and it was windy on multiple of the scenes that you just seen prior, and she did really good. But this drone will also make it easier for your Part 107 people to fly over people and fly over cars because of the additional protection and because of the kinetic force in case of impact with another client. Besides that, design-wise, they have a very easy to put on gimbal cover this time, not like other parts where like other drones had it where you put it on. It was really annoying to put those gimbal covers on. Mavic 2 Pro owners, you probably guys still remember this part. I really enjoy how they made this access for this SD card, which is literally right there. There's also a plug-in right over here for the USB-C. It is a great design. This is very cool, but it's not really super innovative either. The only reason why they made it like this is because they invented or they added on these ducts and the protection for the propellers, which in the old version, when you look at it this way, this is the old Mavic Mini, the original. So you see size-wise, the Mavic, the Flip is actually bigger. To transport around, while this one was easily to fit into your pocket of your pants. This is a little bit not that case. You can't really put it in there, but who wants to carry it around with a pocket? I mean, a pocket in your pants. So I don't. Now, when it comes to the controller is very nice, and it's a very good controller too. It's called the RC2 that comes with the fly mode combo with this one, which we touch on later on in the basis on the price-wise. Design-wise, this controller, I give it a -1 because there is one point inside there out of the possible 5 that I don't like, and that is the button in the back over here. When you hold this controller in this certain manner right here, you tend to touch this, and this button right over here, this one right here, actually makes the gimbal look downwards. So you automatically start looking downwards and you're like, I didn't want to look downwards, but you ended up looking downwards, and then you have to press a button again. So it can ruin actually a shot. Besides that, it's very intuitive, very easy to use, and you can hook this up to Wi-Fi because the good part is there's vertical shooting included in this design. With the Wi-Fi, you're going to be automatically able to hook this up and actually share it live right after if you created master shots or whatever. Design wise, also in the final combo, they come out with this new hub right here, which kind of like bothers me because they have so many drones nowadays, and they came out with new battery design, and I totally hate that. I'm not a big fan of that. I wish that they would actually make it that the batteries would be compatible with the Mini 3 or the Mini 3 4 or Mini 4 Pro, and they just came out with a new system with this whole thing, so you have to again purchase more batteries. And that's one of the parts that I don't really like. So design wise, this actually makes 3 out of 5. First of all, because of the bigger transportation profile for conveniency, because they said it's a sub 250 drone and all that stuff. So yeah, design wise, it's still way bigger than the Mini 4 Pro or the Mini 3. But then also -1 point because of this button in the bottom. Just I think they could have located it a little bit better, that you have the choice. So move the buttons maybe more towards the inside over here. But yeah, altogether 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 in the design. So which brings me to the next point would be the use of the drone itself, which in this category it scores 3 out of 5. I'll tell you why I deducted 2 points out of it. But first of all, use wise, this drone is amazing. You can use it because it's a 250 sub 250 drone, therefore no registration required, as mentioned earlier, unless you're Part 107. Besides that, you do not need a controller or a phone, while you have the button on the side over here, which lets you skim through modes like
Droney, Circle, Rocket, Spotlight, Direction Track, Follow.
So these ones are all different type of modes that you actually can fly with this drone while not having a controller or not having a phone. If you want to use it with the controller, which is the RC2, you have OcuSync 4, and it has an incredible amount of range. You can fly this drone really far. As long as you stay within the United States, it's within the visual line of sight. And usually if you have a spectator with you, because this drone gets hard to see after you fly it up into the sky because it's so tiny and it's actually white. So when you're looking up into a blue sky or a gray sky, it's going to be hard to detect that. So it's always good or recommended that you have an observer with you. But range-wise, this is really good drone to use. And besides that, The controller interface itself lets you also put in certain modes such as intelligent flight modes like master shots, where it automatically does a whole array of different shots. You have photography modes inside there. You have video modes inside there. Usage wise, this drone has a lot to offer for the price that is given to you. And usage wise also, in the fly mode combo, you're given 3 batteries. With 3 batteries, each one around 20 minutes, you have roughly about an hour of flight time. Then you have to go head back home and you have to recharge. Which brings me to one point that I should have maybe mentioned in the design, is that this drone does not come with the charger. So if you need to charge these batteries, you need at least a 65 watt charger to make it most efficient, because these 2 batteries right here can charge at the same time when you plug it in with a 65 watt charger, which reduces your charging time of all 3 batteries, or even if you put 4 inside there, to a total of maybe 70 minutes. Now, the option is also given to download the DJI Fly app and to hook up via Wi-Fi to this drone. Now, if you hook this up via Wi-Fi, you have to be careful because the range is very, very, very limited. Any sort of obstacle that is in between, such a tree, a house, a car, or anything like that, is going to interrupt your connection. The bad part about that one is there's no return to home. Also, if you choose to fly this with the usage of those modes that I just mentioned earlier, like the drone and stuff, and you let this drone take off, there is no omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. So this drone will crash and there's no return to home in case the battery runs low. So that's a negative part. Also, a negative part on that is because of the phone usage, it's great to have it used with the phone, but because of the limited range and no return to home function within the phone app, which technically seen could be fixed through a firmware update. So because of that, the usage wise, I give it only a 3 out of 5, simply because the phone range sucks. And even though it's a vlogging part kind of deal, you still need an external microphone for your phone to record your stuff, because if you just record it to your phone, the audio quality is going to suffer from it. Plus you have the noise of the drone, because the drone has to be within your vicinity to film. So it's kind of like defeating the purpose. So therefore, I do not recommend to fly it with the phone. Or if you're really in a pinch, you can fly it without it, but be careful when you do. Make sure that there's no obstacles around you at the time that you're doing it, because sometimes the drone shot or the rocket shot or the circle, it goes pretty far. So the circle is pretty big and you have to be really, really careful that this drone does not crash. Like I said, no omnidirectional obstacle avoidance. There's only front facing forward obstacle avoidance. Now, the next thing that brings me up is modes, and that's where this drone shines, because you're getting 5 out of 5 points simply because, first of all, you have video shooting in this. You have intelligent flight modes with it. Besides that, mode-wise, you do not need a phone or a controller to fly this drone. It has automatic modes inside there. It's voice activated if you want to. Other modes, tracking mode is very, very good, even though it's just a forward-facing mode. But if you just want to have it follow you on a lower or a higher spectrum, you can program it at that and then just walk around and have the drone follow you. She's kind of stupid on the tight turns, but all drones do that. And the tracking on this drone is very, very impressive. You have photo modes such as wide angle, spheric, if you have a program to stitch it together. There's a lot of things that you have. They have a hyperlapse mode that is very, very stable for a small drone as it is. I'm very, very impressed, and that's why I gave this drone in modes a 5 out of 5. Now, the next thing on the agenda for me is accessories. Accessories for this flip drone. This DJI FLIP drone is still very new. And accessory-wise, that brings me to the sponsor of this video, which is Skyreed, who actually sent me this case for the DJI FLIP. Now, if you have the DJI FLIP Fly More combo, it already brings you a bag, which is the soft bag. It's a pretty simple bag. It does what it's supposed to do. It fits your drone, it fits your controller, it fits your 2 batteries and accessories that you can put in there, like the wires and the propellers. The one thing that I don't like about it is that you have to remove the sticks of the controller every single time you put it back. Now, with the case of Skyreed, you don't have to do that, because you can just simply place the controller in there, close the back, don't have to worry about the controller. Everything else fits very neatly inside there. You can just simply place your battery inside there. You have room for your battery hub. You can easily put just your drone inside there. Or if you wish to do so, you can also put the drone with the battery right inside there, and it fits neatly. And when you look at it that way, you are actually technically seen have room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 batteries inside of this case. And then on top of that, you can put all your accessories, included your ND filters that you purchase afterwards, and your wires and your propellers and your manual. Everything easily fits inside there. The bag itself comes with a nice zipper. It's a semi-tight bag, and it does come with a nice rubber handle right over here that is easy to carry with this part, but also has a nice strap that I usually put around like this, and I can just carry it on just like that, and I can just do whatever because my hands are free. And besides that, I actually use this bag as a takeoff pad in case I have to take off in grassy areas and I don't want to put the drone on the ground or want to hold it in the hand when I just want to take off. So that's why I really like this case. Besides that, accessory wise, the DJI FLIP, you need ND filters. So there are multiple ND filter companies out there right now that make ND filters for it. The DJI ones run about $55, while the Freewell, Skyread, and everybody else run in an average $35 to $40. So you can check those out. I get the links in the description below through the Amazon affiliate links, which is going to help me make more videos such like this just for you. Okay, so accessory wise, it's limited at this point, so I give it a 3 out of 5, but it's still possibility to be getting accessories for this drone. Now, the next thing on the agenda is the juice of everything, which is the camera on this bad boy. So this sports a 1/1.3 inch CMOS sensor, which is equivalent to the Mini 3, Mini 4, and DJI Air 3. But it is a very powerful sensor that allows you to film in 4K, 30, 60, 100 FPS, also in FDH and 100 FPS, and vertical shooting 24, 25, 30 FPS, and also in 2.7K in vertical shooting, which is super cool. It also can take 48 megapixels in pictures, which is a very good clarity, which does not necessarily reflect in the hyperlapse though. So when you do the hyperlapse, you can see sort of like kind of a grainy part. It does come with a fixed f1.7 aperture, which brings me to the point that this camera, yeah, it would have been a 5 out of 5 if they would have delivered me ND filters with this drone in the Fly Mode combo. Why do you give me a fixed f1.7 and give me a pro mode in my intelligent flight modes that I can adjust my camera with if I don't have the capability of toning down the light hitting the sensor? So therefore, I gotta put ND filters on top to keep the motion blur, because now I always have to go with the automatic sensors because I have to do auto ISO, auto aperture, no, auto ISO and auto shutter. The drone does a very, very good job keeping that, and it's the nicest if you shoot it while the sun shoots from behind. If the sun shoots from behind and you're filming something, this drone creates some amazing imagery for its size, and image quality wise, 4K and all that stuff, I actually totally enjoyed it. It's very, very, very impressive. What bugs me the most out of it is if I want to go for faster moving objects, or I want to film it and I want to preserve the natural blur in things and keep the shutter speed twice of that of my FPS, like let's say at 430 60, I have to go with 1/120 or 125. I can't do that if I don't have an aperture that can adjust to that, because 1.7 is just way too bright for daylight. So even though it's a f1.7, it kind of is hard in sunny days. Nighttime, on the other hand, I was surprised flying this thing at night, because our area over here in Hawaii where I live, it's very limited to have ambient lighting. So therefore, when you fly this and you have the nighttime part going on in this, it's crazy how nuts this thing actually makes you looking at these images. And it actually does have the capability of creating sort of like a depth of field when you have like a shooting like I did over here around the motorcycle, where you can actually see that the motorcycle is in focus while the background is not. So it does have cinematic capabilities. So I'm very, very impressed with this camera. And I have to say, for the $780 that you pay for this stuff, it's actually pretty damn good what you're getting for it out of this tiny little 200 sub 250 drone. So yeah, that concludes the camera wise, where I would say it's 4 out of 5 points, simply because I'm deducting the 1 point because of the fixed aperture of 1.7 and not giving me ND filters that I have to purchase otherwise afterwards, which usually run around $35 to $55, depending on who you're picking it up from. Now, next category would be for me price and alternatives. This drone lays in between with the 3 out of 5 possible points, simply because when you're looking at it that way, you're paying $780 for this drone in the Flymo combo, coming with the RC2 and 3 batteries. You're getting a bag with it. You do not get any ND filters, so you will have to buy additional ND filters, $35 to $50, which brings you up to like $820. Now, the Mini 3, on the other hand, does come with the sort of RC2 first generation. It's the first gen, but the controller itself does not have figured out the kinks about the overheating part. And Mini 3 itself, it is limited because it does not have, for example, internal storage of 2 gigabytes, and it runs on older features, and it runs on camera transmission or transmission for your controller. It runs on OcuSync 3, while this one runs on OcuSync 4, which gives you a tremendous amount of range and a tremendous amount of control and signal strength, which is really, really good. Now, it lies there where you want to go for the Pro version, then you pick up the Mini 4 Pro. Now, the Mini 4 Pro does not have these ducts, and it does not have these propeller guards in there, where it kind of like would it make it easier to fly around people or fly over people. But the Mini 4 Pro starts at $900 and goes up to like $1,200 for a Flymo combo. But the good part about that one is you have omnidirectional obstacle avoidance, while this only has front-facing obstacle avoidance. So therefore, alternative wise, you also have for $1,100 on the Flymo combo the DJI Air 3, which is a bigger drone, and it's not sub 250, so it doesn't really fall within this category, but that would be another alternative of yours. And therefore, because there are multiple alternatives within this range, I'm only giving it 3 out of 5. Now, in the overall rating, I would give this drone a 4 out of 5, simply because of the usage and everything else that you can use this for and what you actually getting for the money that you pay for this. It's a newer system, and it runs with OcuSync 4. It does come with the RC2. It comes with 3 batteries, a charging hub. It's easy to use, and the max that you actually need for this is a 128 gigabyte micro SD card that is super accessible and super easy right over. I don't have fingernails. Come on, there. That is super accessible and easy to reach right over here. And technically seen, 4 out of 5, simply because it has so many good features, and it is a really good drone for the amount of money that you pay for it. And you have alternatives to pay for this drone less if you would go for just the regular not Flymo combo, but for the regular version, which includes just the drone, 1 battery, and this controller, which runs $630. And then for $430, if you do not wish to have the RC2, you can get the regular drone together with a regular controller without the screen on top, but then you would have to utilize your phone. So you have, price-wise, a lot of alternatives to fluctuate around depending on what's in your budget. So if you only can afford $430, hey, you don't have to have the RC2, but it's nice to have it. But then you end up actually plugging in your phone, doing the DJI Fly app, and yeah, it's not the same. But overall, in itself, it is well worth the money that you're going to spend on this drone, based on that it is just coming out this year, and it's going to be around for a while, and it is a sub 250 drone, and that's what DJI has been laying on a lot. So all in all, when you're looking at it that way, I believe this is what, 35 out of 20, no, 25 out of 35 available points, which is really, really good. And hey, you get what you pay for. These days, it's DJI, and ever since they removed the geofencing too, it's so much easier to fly these drones wherever you want, because that responsibility lies straightly with you to fly this. So if you want to fly in flight restricted areas and stuff, you're going to be held liable for that. So be careful on what you decide to do. Besides that, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I tried to make it as detailed as I can. I know it's a longer one, but if you guys haven't done so, please don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Until then, please don't forget, be a nice human, make somebody else smile, and definitely pay it forward. Love you all. Aloha. Did I get it all? I don't know, you got it all. I did. Did I get it all? Tell me if I got it all. Did I get it all? I don't know if I got it all. I hope I did. Thank you, Skyreed, for sending me the case. Yeah, all my links are in the description below too. Nobody seems to be buying stuff though, because I have made $0 ever since my videos. You're not worthy. Nah. I pay for all this stuff myself, so this is not sponsored by DJI either. Just saying, yeah. Did I disclose that in the beginning? This video is not sponsored by DJI. It's sponsored by Skyreed. I bought this with my own money. Right here, $780, straight from Amazon. And then it was sitting in customs for 6 weeks. Thanks, customs.
Fly in well lit, textured environments.
What? What do you mean flying well lit? Let's try and see if we can fly him in the studio, huh? That's why you buy DJI Carry Fresh, just in case you crash it. See that? I just touched that button. You hear it? Just by grabbing the controller, you keep on touching these buttons. Take off with caution, no satellite positioning. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Should we film this? Yeah, we're filming this. Take off permitted. Haha. Here we go. Within the studio, just like that. What's up there, little drone? Oh, it actually feels pretty good. Ah!
Textured environments.
Nicked my thumb there, but I didn't. I don't know why I screamed out. It didn't even hurt. Now you see what you can do in the studio with this thing. I should take this for real estate, right? Damn, I have an idea. Han! My good old friend, still loyal to me and functional. DJI Mavic Mini, #1. There can only be one, right? No, they made 4 already.